From Cleveland's own 24-hour newsroom, Tim Taylor, Denise Dufala, Casey Coleman on sports, and Dick Goddard with weather. This is Cleveland's own Newscenter 8.
Good evening, everyone.
Thank you for joining us. Here's what's happening. A smoky fire at a rubber reclamation company in Barberton tonight has forced the temporary evacuation of about 50 people, nearby residents. The fire at Spartan Enterprises on Norton Road sent a cloud of smoke into the air that could be seen for miles. It's not yet known what caused the fire that began at about 6:30 tonight in huge bales of reclaimed rubber. Barberton Fire Captain Alex Zelovic said the residents were evacuated as a precaution because of the heavy smoke. Most have now been allowed to return to their homes. No injuries have been reported.
We have this just in to Newscenter 8. 5 people have just been rescued from a boat that reportedly crashed into a break wall in Lake Erie at the mouth of the Cuyahoga River. A search is underway for a 6th person. We hope to have a live report from Kelly O'Donnell coming right up. But first, the campaign of Ross Perot is taking shape tonight in Cleveland. For some folks, it started as an interest in a political alternative and is now fast becoming an organization.
Kelly O'Donnell listened in on a recruitment meeting tonight for West Siders and has details on how Perot's people are coming together.
We're going to try and have a main headquarters probably in the downtown area.
Political gatherings always come equipped with the signs and buttons. But all along, the Perot campaign has been making a mark with the unexpected. Here, there is a force of political newcomers.
This is the first political function I've attended in my life.
Now, why did you feel motivated enough to come tonight?
Only because I feel as though there should be a change. People have had it. I've had it. I want to see something created for my children.
Perot is drawing the young, and those who've seen a campaign or two, and those who've run for office themselves. Whatever their backgrounds, they are here to organize.
But this coordinator is going to be responsible for everything in their little area.
Newly recruited volunteers will spend time cleaning up neighborhoods and canvassing for Perot's support.
I'm really excited about this guy. I've never been filled with a fire for any political candidate at any level until this man finally came out.
When I was in Detroit, I had several friends who worked for Mr. Perot at EDS, and they all had wonderful things to say about him. He had a great deal of respect in Detroit, and I firmly believe that he can do the same thing for this country.
Folks here are proud to call this a grassroots campaign. And what better grass to use than the sod at the old ballpark? So in a couple of weeks on Ross Perot's birthday, his Cleveland-based supporters will take their very American cause to the American pastime at Cleveland Stadium. And they hope to set off some fireworks for the Perot campaign.
And as far as I'm concerned, Ross Perot has all the answers. And we can't wait anymore.
Perot is on the ballot in 13 states. Ohio, they say, is within reach.
There's a sense here of destiny almost. These people are writing history, and you can sense it. You really can.
Kelly O'Donnell, Newscenter 8, North Ridgeville.
A big cleanup is ahead for the Panamanian Park, where President Bush is to speak tomorrow on his way to the Earth Summit in Brazil. Panamanians bitter over the damage and death during the 1989 American invasion that toppled Noriega trashed the downtown park. Earlier, a trio of gunmen with assault rifles ambushed American soldiers, killing one of them and wounding another. The White House says in spite of the violence, it will not change plans for the Bush visit, the first by an American president since 1978.
Israel Supreme Court will resume deliberations tomorrow in John Demjanjuk's death sentence appeal. Today, 2 Ohio congressional representatives called for a House probe of Justice Department Nazi hunters at OSI. Alan Ryan and Neil Schur allegedly knew in '78 that Ivan Marchenko, not Demjanjuk, was the real gas chamber operator, Ivan the Terrible.
And Alan Ryan and Neil Schur of the Office of Special Investigation can sue me, but I say they should go directly to jail for what they did to that man.
And so I would like to see the Judiciary Committee that has oversight take a look at this case.
Next month, Federal Appeals Court Judge Gilbert Merritt will reopen and investigate the case that sent John Demjanjuk to Israel.
A bank robbery suspect is behind bars in Cleveland Heights tonight following a police chase that wound up with the suspect's car crashing in Cleveland. Police arrested the suspect and recovered the money. Police Chief Martin Lentz praised his officers, whom he said have arrested the community's last 3 bank robbers.
And 2 car thieves tried to outrun police today, reaching speeds of 125 miles an hour, but they're in jail tonight. And this is what's left of the stolen 92 Trans Am Pontiac taken from Jackshaw in Lakewood. 2 men were checking out the car when the salesman was called to the phone. The 2 then jumped into the car and drove off.
Within about 3 seconds, we contacted the Lakewood Police Department, and we told them that we had a car being stolen. Cleveland Police had a radar car stationed on 90 East, and he spotted the car at that time.
And the chase left I-90 at West 150th and ended in a bank parking lot at Berea and Triscuit when the stolen car crashed into 4 parked cars. Both thieves ran but were caught within blocks.
An Orville teen who crashed his car, killing himself and 3 friends, was legally drunk when it happened Sunday night. That news from the State Highway Patrol today. On this, the day 2 of the victims were buried. The Snyder family laid to rest 2 sons, 18-year-old Todd and 21-year-old Tommy. The services at Crown Hill Cemetery. Blood alcohol tests released today show all of the victims had been drinking, but the only one who was legally drunk was the driver, 19-year-old Butchie George.
This is something that nobody can deal with no more. If this happened tomorrow to another friend of mine, I don't think I could take it.
2 other victims were buried yesterday, and 2 survivors remain hospitalized.
A 16-year-old Sheffield Lake boy is in critical condition tonight at Metro Health Medical Center with a gunshot wound to the face. Matthew Jackson was life-flighted to Metro from St. Joseph's Hospital in Lorraine after being shot early this evening. Sheffield Lake police tell us no details on the shooting will be released until tomorrow. And still ahead on Newscenter 8, no smoking signs may be going up in all public buildings and businesses if the American Heart Association gets its way.
And Mrs. Noriega isn't only accused of shoplifting. Police say they have the video to prove it.
Newscenter 8 is brought to you in part by your local Dodge dealer.
More now on that breaking story on the shores of Lake Erie. Within the hour, 6 people have just been rescued from a boat that hit a break wall.
And Newscenter 8's Kelly O'Donnell is live at the foot of East 9th Street. Kelly.
Well, Coast Guard officials tell me this is the first break wall accident of the boating season. It did happen within the hour. It's one of those formula or cigarette boats, one of those fast traveling boats. What happened is this. The boat was traveling at about 40 miles an hour. It hit the East Pier headlight, flipped over the wall, and sent all 6 passengers into the water. The boat, of course, took on water. Now, all 6 people were a little beaten up, a little bruised, but no serious injuries. All 6, 4 men, 2 women, have been brought here to shore. They're all fine. None will be taken to hospitals tonight, and we are told that the boat, which is now being brought back into shore, it did suffer some damage, but Coast Guard officials say this first accident of the season should be a lesson to all boaters to take extra caution when having activities out on Lake Erie. But again, all 6 people are okay, and this emergency has been resolved. I'm Kelly O'Donnell reporting live at the Coast Guard station.
Thank you, Kelly. Well, smokers are running out of places to light up these days, and tonight the American Heart Association is calling for another smoking ban. They want to prohibit secondhand smoke in public places. The group says secondhand smoke is an environmental toxin and should be forbidden. The tobacco industry fired back, arguing there is no conclusive scientific proof to indicate passive smoke is dangerous. But the EPA is proposing to reclassify secondhand smoke as a known carcinogen.
Charged with killing his wife with his service revolver over the weekend, part-time Woodmere police officer Leonard Adams has been ordered held without bond. Judge Salvatore Calandra, acting after the victim's family complained of threats and fears for the couple's 3 children. Adams is jailed on 1 count of aggravated murder and a drug law violation. His wife Teresa, whose body was found in the couple's blood-splattered truck, will be buried on Friday.
In Lakewood tonight, police are investigating what may be an ugly racial incident.
I'm just so scared. I don't know what to do. Will somebody please help me?
For the second time in little more than a month, Quilla Mackey woke up to find racial slurs written across her Lakewood apartment door. Quilla says she knows who's responsible for the hate message. Police tell the I-Team's Carl Monday they plan to question the suspect tomorrow. Quilla, whose husband is white, has already been told to vacate the Lakewood Club apartments by the end of September. She says she plans to leave a lot sooner now that someone has made it clear her stay is not welcome. After an extensive 3-month study, tonight one citizens group is calling for the Cleveland School Board to make drastic cuts to bring its finances in order. The Citizens League Research Institute says the board must act quickly and prove to the public the budget has been cut to the bone. The group is even asking some workers to take a 10% pay cut.
The reason we have the problem that we have now is because we haven't had an education plan that drives the budget. The budget's been driving what's been going on. What we need to do now and what we're asking and what the district says it's going to do is get a strategic plan and an education plan in place so that they can know what to spend money on to improve the quality of education.
Now, the league says higher taxes cannot be considered until the board proves it's operating effectively.
More trouble for the former First Family of Panama while the former dictator Manuel Noriega faces up to 120 years in prison at his July sentencing. Mrs. Noriega was captured on videotape allegedly shoplifting. She's charged with clipping 27 buttons off expensive women's jackets, buttons valued at more than $300. But Mrs. Noriega has accepted a plea bargain that will keep her out of jail. She'll pay for damage to the jackets, perform community service, and then sign a release form, promising not to sue the department store for detaining her.
Up next, someone out there is $24 million richer. A look at the latest bout with Lotto fever.
And Dick has conveniently lost our tickets, but he does have some great-looking numbers in the forecast coming up next.
Well, we can't check our lottery tickets because Dick buys them for us and accidentally left the numbers at home. But we do know what the winning 6-digit combination is tonight in the huge $24 million jackpot. The numbers are 1, 3, 28, 31, 36, and 39. And of course, we won't officially know until tomorrow how many winning tickets were sold, if any.
Of course,
so we do have a chance yet.
We still have a shot at it.
Right.
And of course, you'll be a winner if you decide to join us and more than 24 local celebrities and pro athletes for the first Epilepsy Foundation Invitational Golf Tournament, June 22nd, Aurora Country Club. Why don't you call 579-1330 first thing in the morning? We'd love to have you there.
And it's on a Monday, so the weather should be nice.
Guaranteed.
What a day it will be. What a day this one was. Cirrus clouds amid the blue skies, 72 the Cleveland high, and that's still a little below normal. 14 of the last 18 days have had temperatures below par. We won't hit it tomorrow, but it'll be a beautiful day, and I think we'll do it Friday. We'll look beyond that after this.
Dick Goddard's weather is brought to you in part by Cuprinol, a complete line of products to protect your wooden deck and home.
Boy, the only thing that could top the weather this week is if we slid right into the weekend and had a good one. We are overdue, aren't we?
Well, I would say so, yeah, no doubt about that. The maps suggest a front coming in Saturday night or Sunday. It's looking dry. Bob Wilkinson out in North Ridgeville earlier and a groundhog family out enjoying the late spring sunshine. A mama and I guess that may be Dad there in the back. Oh, yeah, that's Dad in the background. 62 degrees now. And the wind out of the east-northeast at 7. Humidity 68%, 30.07. The meteorological marmots gambling in North Ridgeville. G-A-M-B-O-L-I-N-G, that is, that gambling. And precipitation 0 today, will be dry tomorrow, and I think Friday as well. Saturday looking dry also. And the rainfall for the month of June is about 1 inch. And there, I hope you saw everything else. Radar National Weather Service, void of precipitation. We will check out the National Weather Service national radar units. And boy, down at Graceland, Memphis, they've been showered on severely tonight. A lot of rain down there. Kansas City had nearly 2 inches earlier this morning. But you may have noticed the movement was to the southeast, not to the north. Water temperature 60, light winds, waves 2 foot or less on Lake Erie. Now, It was on this date, and that would have been 240 years ago, that Ben Franklin, what a genius this fellow was, he wanted to prove, as many did, that lightning is electricity, so he flew a kite, a wire attached, key on the end, and he was about to give up when it happened, and Ben was very lucky because a number of experimenters were electrocuted by trying to fly kites in thunderstorms back in the days of yore. And it was Ben, again, that invented the lightning rod, the only logical device we've come upon for lightning protection. 53 degrees at Akron, Canton, 60s there, 50s in the north, Cleveland's high 72, 45 the morning low here. Yet Carroll, Piernut, and Chardon, 38. Dick Miller, Pepper Pike came in at 40. 91 and 47 the high, 37.72 the record low. Sun's up 554, down 901. We'll see the clouds spiraling by, and you can still see the waxing strawberry moon up there. 4 nights to full. And these are the cirrus clouds in Ohio. They don't bring rain or snow. They're very high, 25,000 feet or better this time of the year. Airflow that has brought in the cool. Here's how it's going to go as we head into the weekend. Low pressure there. And again, this dip suggests front coming our way, but whether it showers or thunders on us, Saturday night into Sunday really is up for grabs now. The sticky air down there far to the south with Canadian high pressure controlling our weather. Light winds out of the northeast tomorrow. For tonight, 48, the average low. Mainly sunny tomorrow, a splendid day. High about 75 degrees, again cooler by 6 to 8 against Lake Erie. 52 tomorrow night. Friday, more sunshine. We'll have the cirrus clouds again up there, but a lot of old sol coming through. 78, I think, will do it Friday. Got a shot at 82 Saturday, mostly then partly sunny, warm, a bit humid, and there's that possibility, at least, of a scattered shower, thunder shower into Sunday. Sunday high mid-70s. Weather line number 881-0880.
We're on. Thanks, Dick. That weather line,
Boy.
you know, it's just so wonderful.
I've never seen him hit the brakes that quickly.
Me either. Well, in sports, Dan is in for Casey. Says the Indians did something tonight they haven't done in 10 years in Detroit.
Danny, you don't mean they won a series?
Oh, I'm not going to give it away, but it happens about as often as Dick calls an eclipse. We'll have the story when we come back. It's a nail-biter in that NBA game in Portland. The Bulls lead by 1 with just under 4 minutes left. In baseball, the baseball owners did approve informally the sale of the Seattle Mariners to a Japanese group. They will make it official tomorrow. The Tigers were more than happy to see Glenn Allen Hill leave town tonight. Hill hit a pair of homers last night. He hit 2 more tonight as the Indians, yes! They won a series in Detroit for the first time since 1982. Carlos Baerga got this thing going in the third. He bounces one off the wall in right. Kenny Lofton, who walked 4 times, races around to score. The Tribe won nothing. Lofton also stole his league-leading 25th base of the season earlier. In the 7th, Glenn Allen Hill, he knows this is gone. Upper deck, his 5th of the season. Tribe takes a 2-0 lead, but the Tigers picked up a run in the 7th, and then in the 8th, Junior Ortiz called for a pitch out. Steve Olin threw a fastball down the middle that hit plate umpire Rick Reed on the knee. Skeeter Barnes scored. It's tied 2-2. That's how it went to the 11th, when Hill greeted Tiger reliever Mike Munoz with his 2nd of the game, 4th in 2 games, 6th of the season, and Brooke Jacoby followed with his 3rd of the year. Tribe wins it 4-2. Steve Olin goes the final 4 innings for the win. The American League East is becoming a 2-team race, Toronto and Baltimore. Toronto maintains its 1-game lead. This is in Yankee Stadium. Greg Myers, a blast to right. It's a 3-run homer. The Jays score 6 runs in the 2nd inning. Watch Yankee pitcher Scott Sanderson gulp. That came in that was in the 2nd, as we said. In the 3rd, Devon White hits a rocket over Roberto Kelly's head in center. His futile leap, Candy Maldonado scores 7-0 Blue Jays. Toronto goes on to win 10-3 in beautiful Camden Yards, Baltimore. Bottom of the 5th, Brady Anderson singles to right past the diving Red Sox first baseman. Joe Orsulak scores. Orioles lead Boston 1-0. Moments later, Mike Devereaux, he hits a shot in the gap. Here comes Brady Anderson. He's going to come all the way around. He scores, and it's for the 2nd Baltimore run. Devereaux goes into third with a triple. Baltimore goes on to nip the Red Sox 3-1 and remain just one game out of first place. Now here are all your winners and losers. The Indians have signed 20 of the 50 players they drafted last week, including Ohio State third baseman Jamie Taylor. The Tribe also drafted Greg Bittner, a pitcher from Euclid High School, but they don't have him under contract yet. That's sports, but Tim and Denise will be right back with more News Center 8.
We are all out of news time for Wednesday night. Next scheduled news on News Center 8 this morning at 6 a.m. Breaking news anytime from our 24-hour newsroom.
We'll all be back tomorrow night. Hope you will be too. Have a great Thursday. Good night, everyone.
Good night.